Hello, internet. I've just realised something about burqas and the state of England, right? A friend of mine said to me the other day that they had to bite their tongue because they were going to shout at someone wearing a burqa. And the problem is, you're not angry at the burqa. The burqa is there to protect women. You're not angry at the burqa, you're angry at the state of the UK. And that anger is being projected into racism. This is happening. I've had a couple of people say now that they've had not so fruitful feelings or words exchanged with Muslims specifically, right? Islam and Muslims are not the problem. The problem is the UK. The problem is the people that are running, the UK are not doing a good job. We're being taken advantage of. We're being taken advantage of. But the people, racism is bad in every single sense of the word. Racism is bad, right? And it takes someone to be the bigger person to fix it. Now, the teachings of Islam and from what I've seen, the teachings of Islam and the practical and the people that are practicing it are hugely respectful. They have different views on slightly things, but don't forget, people, like our side of the fence, the West, normalizes porn and things like that. So we're not perfect. You know, there are cultural differences where they're bumping heads. Yes, that is true. But both sides have a point. This is really important. Both sides have a point. You're not angry. If you feel angry towards Muslims, if you see a burqa and you get upset, it's not the burqa that you're upset with. It's not Islam. It's the change, what you perceive to be the negative changes in your environment. That's what you're upset with, and it's getting projected onto mostly innocent, normal people that just come from a different place. Tango mango. Bango. So, division and anger feels like the antidote. Push back, like deport them and all this kind of shit. There are some people that come over here to the UK specifically, or to anywhere, especially when they feel like they're going to get a free ride, which they are, because the government, the people that are controlling it have lost control. They've lost control of it. They can't do it. They're inept. We don't need politicians. The end of the era of the politician is arriving. We do not need or want these lying, deceptive, pathetic wimps to be in control of something so important like the UK. We don't need politicians anymore, and they negatively affect everything going on around us because it's just a big boys club, basically. As are lots of things I found out fairly recently, which was quite evoking. I was quite upset, disappointed about that. Some chemical in this on my teeth. And that's not fair. That's not fair on anyone that's not in the big boys club. I've had dealings with authorities, and for the first time in my life been able to see inside more of the system, shall we say. And unfortunately, as people, as humans, we are fallible to our shortcomings, and power very quickly, clearly corrupts, which is really disappointing in areas where it's very important that nobility is very high up, if not the priority, prior to anything else, almost. Apart from dogs. So Lost my train of thought. I was thinking about dogs. They are incredible, honestly. If they're not just dogs, they're spiritual guides, and people will see that and think that sounds ridiculous, but it's not. If you can think in terms of, try and take a step back from all these ideological labels. We live in a world that's just label. This is a watch. This is a man. This is a nose. This is a new nose. This is a car, right? But the essence of that, it's a word attached to a thing, right? But that's just a word attached to a thing. But that goes wider. That goes to everything in the world. And then when you follow that back, and this is where the identity crisis comes in, because it's just ideological. There's no base to it. There is obviously there is a cultural difference, but cultures, again, it's just like the black culture, for example, in inverted commas. People that are black aren't even black. People that are Asian aren't even Asian. It's just that you're a human. But we've attached these meanings to these things. I'm a white man, and that means certain things in the eyes of society. I feel so misunderstood. I think that's where it comes from, because I just do things because I like it. I'm wearing this that says happiness tracksuit, but I'm covered in tattoos. I like boxing, but I like I have Bird City in the back of my garden where I'm building a bird watch. I like keeping dogs. I like helping people, but at the same time I'm covered in tattoos and I like boxing. So I think I've just come to a space where I've felt so misunderstood for so long that it's triggered something in my head. It's like the woman that called me a misogynist the other day when she's never even had a full conversation, like any conversation with me, apart from when I gave him a bloody bottle of wine to say sorry about the noise of the renovation. But it's like I get accused of being I felt accused of being a misogynist on the basis of absolutely nothing other than someone else's perception of the ideological labels, or what another way of saying it, someone else's perception of stereotypes. What's the word I was looking for? And stereotypes are there for a reason, because it does happen. There are, but it's like, don't judge a book by its cover. I've always felt like that. I remember when I was in Ibiza, and I never really liked house music. I went there for the parties, the girls and the drugs, really, and like good times. That sounds bad when I say drugs, but it's just partying. There was never any malice, and I ended up having more fun going on the West End, and there was a club that played hip hop music and grime. Grime was just coming in at the time, and I was really almost besotted by grime and the early stuff. And I would play my grime music in Ibiza, and people would actually quite like it. But then when I used to go to this club, and I'd know every song, every word to a Skepta song, because he did a Westwood compilation, a Westwood track years ago, and I loved it, and I knew every word. So I'm in this club, this white boy in this club, just skanking my head off, listening to Boy Better Know or something like that, probably a JME, something like that. And I always felt judged because I knew every word. And do you know what we do? Do you know, this is terrible? In Ibiza, we'd go round on the West End, and what do we call it? We'd drink swipe. I can't remember what we used to call it, which is incredibly dangerous, but we used to go around taking... So bad, that, innit? We'd go around and take people, and just walk around and take in the club and just take a full vodka lemonade or whatever it was. That's well bad, isn't it? It's funny how. What do we used to call it? We used to call it something, drink swiping. Yeah, I used to work on the West End, which is like the bars. It's not like the cool ones, but some of them are. And it's not like the house clubs, like the big ones. And I used to work getting people in, doing PR. And I would have, at the start of every shift, I'd have a pint of vodka lemonade. No, vodka Red Bull. Vodka Red Bull, I'd have a pint. I'd drink vodka by the pint, not obviously straight. They were very, very funny times. I had a girlfriend that season as well, actually. I don't agree with adultery. I did it once and felt the worst ever. Yeah, I felt terrible. I just wasn't happy in the relationship. Anyway. Yeah, adultery should be illegal, I think. I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you try and step back, this is what I was trying to say at the beginning, if you step back from all these things that we're like led to believe, all these concrete truths, and be like, well, actually, are they concrete truths? Because even the nature of facts, like the tectonic plates all moved, like we see there's however many continents, I always forget, 7, and they all used to be attached. So like things change. Look at all this stuff coming out about JFK and 9/11 and yeah, all this stuff that people have been like pariahed for is all coming out now. So like the system is changing because people are becoming more aware, more open, more happy. I think there's a raised consciousness where people are accepting that these truths that we've been given aren't necessarily all true, and we have the power and the discernment to be able to think for ourselves, and we should be encouraged to do that and question narratives, because that's where progress comes from, and we all should want progress for everyone. That's quite good. That we should all want progress for everyone. Because win-win, there's like a phrase, win-win, it's true, win-win. We don't live in that world right now. It's changing, but we don't live in that world right now. We live in me, individual. But we get that from the telly, really. That's what I want to say about that woman as well. The only reason that she thinks I'm a misogynist is because she watches too much TV. Like, where else could it come from? How else could she possibly have come to that conclusion? How? I've been thinking about this. Like, there is no basis. If you've never had a conversation with someone, it's like when you see someone ragging the car. I always think, oh, dickhead. But maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe he's a really nice lad that likes Lewis Hamilton or racing or something, and he's got to a point in his mind, oh, it's quite safe here, I'll put my foot down because I enjoy it. Oh, there's a really fat kid on a scooter. Why is that kid fat? Yeah, processed fucking food. Because we don't eat food. We don't drink normal drinks. We drink chemicals. We eat and drink chemicals. That kid should not be fat. There should be no way that little kid's fat. I don't want to show him because it's mean. But this is another thing about fat shaming. That is so toxic. The fact that you can't say to someone, what? I can guarantee you that there's a huge, a huge proportion of the people that have been overweight and lost weight, having been one of them, albeit not so much now, binge eating. But the reason why you lose weight is usually, I think, in experience, from a comment. Someone made a comment and you thought, you know what? I need to make a change. Well, it's unhealthy. This is the point. This is the major point. Being overweight, being fat. Fat is a very heavy word, and it's a bit angry. But being overweight should not be encouraged. You are unhealthy. You will die sooner. It's not about how you... oh my goodness, this trend of young girls that are overweight walking around with the belly out. No, girl. I feel sorry for you because you should not have been encouraged. It's very well and good accepting everyone and being happy and stuff and loving who you are. and accepting people for the differences. This is how this video started. Yeah, but, and if you want to walk around with your belly out, fine. But the practical element of it is, the psychological element is, you shouldn't be encouraged to be unhealthy. There's no world, there's no anything where that should in any way, shape or form be encouraged to be unhealthy. Everyone should be able to be themselves, and I got a bit thingy about it then, but like, if you do want to walk around with your belly out, then fucking fair enough. But I just feel sorry for them because they're misguided. That bit's fine, but it's the thought process prior to that where it's like being fat, being overweight is encouraged, because that absolutely should not be the case, because it's unhealthy. You should be happy with who you are and all that, but yeah. And if you want to, I misspoke a bit then. If you want to walk around with your belly out, then I don't really want to see it, but it's up to you, innit? But at the same time, the thought process that's gone to that, there's a thought process prior to that, which is along the lines of being overweight is okay and encouraged, and it shouldn't be. This guy's quite nice, that. Chemically, though. Hypocrite, aren't I? I've also got a big bag of prawn cocktail crisps next to me. But when life settles down, I'm trying so hard to diet and stay on it, but you know, when you're in the eye of the storm, you're just trying to ride the waves, aren't you? And it's quite challenging to be able to ride the waves and manage. I think because I'm very ambitious and I've got these high-minded ambitions, that I've broken the goals down and I know what needs to happen to get there. So if I can't get ready for my goals, I can't make steps towards my goals, I feel really unsettled. So I have to push even when life is very challenging, because we only have one go round at this, and I've got to make the most of it, because I don't know if I'll ever come back here. Maybe I put too much pressure on myself, but I am incredibly disheartened with the state of the world, and I would like to benefit. I'd like to be of use to it, and I think I will be. I cut my own hair as well, as a strange aside. I've cut my own hair for years. Can you tell? Oh, I'm talking to a camera again on my own. Fuck's sake. Warrington car hire. Fuck me. Oh, I feel sad. Oh, I've got so much good stuff going on in my head. I just want people to be able to get it, and I can't think of any other way of getting it out there. I'm doing this. And it's a bit disheartening, to be honest, because I'm regularly sat on my own. Talking to a camera. I miss my kid. I miss my old friends. I miss my school friends. as well. I miss my mate that passed away. 4 of them. I always think about Abby and Bede. Always. All the time. And I always think about people that have passed away, but in like a nice way. The pain never leaves, you just learn to cope. So when the devil needs hanging, you tie up the rope. And shout, Lord, let's put an end to this bull. Zen thing. How many years before we practice what we preach? How many tears before we truly get to the beach? Only to find that there isn't any money on the moon. Some more things to all men. All of the women, all the children. It is weird how I can relate to lots of different people. That is weird. Cool. I like it. Although, I'll give you a good example. It's like when I was at university. I was never really part of one core clique. Whether there's cliques around the campus or around the city or whatever, I was never really part of one. I always had my foot in a few different ones. I never really fit in anywhere I go. Really. Although, having said that, Warrington's actually sound. Gets a bad rap sometimes, but it's pretty cool. And the guy in the shop then, Selva, I think he said his name was, said it's the 7th happiest place in the UK to live. I'm gonna tell that to my neighbour. Okay, now. You shouldn't laugh at your own jokes, should you? I really like cars. Not fast ones though. Suzuki Swift, I like them. Yeah. Are these videos me dissociating from my sadness? Yes, it is. This Sanjuke's actually pretty cool as well. Yeah. It's weird. I'm on my own all the time, or the majority of the time. Just with the dogs. Well, I'm not on my own, I'm with the dogs. All the time. But like, for months. Like literally months, like 5 months. I used to be surrounded by people, going to parties and all that. Surrounded all the time. stop eating these really. Supposed to be fighting in May. I don't think that's going to happen. This is what I mean now, when you've got shit going on, how can you stay? How can you stay focused enough to get your goals achieved when you've got just constant drama? How is it possible? I want it to be possible. I don't know. There must be a way of stopping, of dealing with like sadness and stuff. There must be some tool that I've not developed. I've worked really fucking hard on developing tools as well. I feel angry. I've done so much work on myself. So much. So much. Looking for answers, and I feel like sometimes I feel like I've got them. Sometimes I genuinely feel like I've got the answers. Well then why am I eating this? Dopamine. Dopamine. Let's go for a run instead. That is actually true. I look like a mental person. I don't wanna go home, I'm always at home. My face is going red now, I feel embarrassed. I don't wanna go home. I always go home. It's not the same when they're not there. It feels like my house and it's like cool and stuff, but it feels like there's a huge amount of potential. I should move the car really, there's loads of cars going past. I'm scared about things going well. I said it. I'm scared about things going well. Because it's not what I'm used to. And it's so unsettling that I self-sabotage. There you go, I said it. I know what my mind can do. I'm trying to drag myself out of a cave, but part of me wants to stay in the cave because it feels safer. Like, being in pain, being in challenging situations feels like the norm. So that's what I'm used to. That's what I deserve, maybe in a way. That was a good bite. I really, really want to be successful, but there's something holding me back. Something psychologically. And physically. My back. And personally. So therapy session. It does feel like a therapy session. Although in therapy I would share more details, but not appropriate here. Covered in dog hairs as well. It's quite embarrassing. Black cotton. I'm covered. Right. It looks like it's part of the outfit at this point. Because it's just all over me. Like, literally all over me. You can see there. I've gone out like that. Look at that. You can see, can't you? Look at the state of me. Look at all those dog hairs. It's so ridiculous. He literally jumped in the most dirtiest water I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And I can't get him upstairs because the carpets are like cream or whatever, beige, whatever you want to call it. Shout out Mid Cheshire Flooring. But yeah, I couldn't take him upstairs because of that, and I couldn't take him through the kitchen because he just shakes, and I painted all the walls, and he just gets shit all over them. I was thinking about covering him in a towel and getting him round to the back, but then it was absolutely freezing on my hands with the cold water. I was like, what on God's green earth am I going to do? So, what I had to do, cut all his hair off. I've done it before. When he gets like a little bit dirty, instead of cleaning it, I just cut it off because he's got long hair. And he's cutting anyway. But, excuse me, beautiful long tail, fluffy. Matted, like dreadlocks. Honestly. I was there, on my own, no one's call. Sat after finishing half of a run. Sat on my doorstep, no one to call, no one to fucking help. Sat there, and it's like, how the fuck am I going to deal with this situation on top of all the other ones? I was like, I was just sat there on my doorstep for like 10 minutes, just sat there, my head in my hands, just like, how am I going to deal with this? Who are you going to call? No, fucker! Yeah, I'm going to change my name as well. That's pretty heavy. That run went well, didn't it? Yeah, I've got to change my name. It's obviously very personal, and unfortunately feels necessary. Well, not unfortunately, because it's made me who I am, but yeah, time to move on. Start afresh. Sad, but that's life. That's what all the people say. Adam Dow's not here anymore, really. He is, but I don't want to continue being Adam Dow. I don't want to continue being Adam Dow. I don't like the reputation. I think it holds me back. I think people's perception of my reputation holds me back, and I want to start afresh. I've got really high-minded ambitions. I really want to help as many people as humanly possible. literally. And if I feel like it doesn't resonate and that name doesn't resonate for me anymore, I feel like I don't want to be associated with that whole. Yeah, it's really, I'll put it this way, because the Bible talks about having a froward mouth, and that sort of means like sharing, gossiping, like don't gossip. And I am conscious of oversharing details and stuff because it's not the right thing to do, to talk about people when they're not there. What I would say is there's good reason. And that's very sad. And I've spent a lot of time and money and energy, a lot, on breaking intergenerational trauma that held me back massively and got me in some really intense situations. Like, honestly, because I had no tools and I had lots of intergenerational trauma, a lot of it. I come from a successful line of successful people, and you don't get to that point. You don't get to that point unless you're super ambitious. You don't get to that point without a lot of pain pushing you to do it. You've got to show someone that you are someone, basically. You've got to have that fire underneath you, and normally that comes from a healthy place. With me now, thank God, I'll be able to do it from a healthy place, or from a more healthy place, should I say. No, from a healthy place. I've worked so fucking hard on this shit. That's why I just want to impart this knowledge onto people, because I've worked so hard on it. Like, we live in this crazy world where degrees and like you can't do something unless you got a piece of paper. But like, I can speak Spanish. I don't have a piece of paper. I still speak Spanish. Hablo español. ¿Qué pasa? So, yeah, man. I know it's only an ideological label, a name, but I do feel like I don't want to be known for being that person really anymore. I want to be known for the person that I am, and I come from I've felt very judged by very many different people for a very long time, and I don't like the feeling. And you know, having people talk about me, and like, it sounds ridiculous, but it just feels like I've been in like a fame situation for a long time, but like on a really micro level. But also because of the lack of tools that I had. Obviously there's some people that I've met through the journey that probably think I'm funny and stuff, and like good laugh and all that, but yeah, I still am. And can be, apart from, you might not feel it in these videos, but I don't know, I just don't want to be I don't feel like that fits, and I feel like it's time to, you know, let go of the old skin like a snail, move into a bigger house. One that, it's like you got a pair of shoes and you're like 13 or 14, you got your pair of DCs on, and well, this is a bad example because my DCs were too big and they gave me flat feet, but it's like when you grow out of a pair of shoes. It's like when you're in primary school and you have to wear pumps, and then when you go into high school you have to get school shoes, black shoes, whatever, smart shoes. It's like that. I feel like I'm putting on my black smart shoes. Obviously I'm not wearing black smart shoes when I'm wearing trainers, but the example is poignant. But it's like the pumps have had pins in. The pumps that I was wearing in primary school had pins in the soles, but wings on the side. And now, just want to wear a pair of shoes. I don't like smart shoes, they're uncomfortable, but it's a good analogy. Oh man. So many people must have driven past me and seen me, that's good. I've not really been caring about that. I used to care about that kind of stuff. You don't video and have people see. That's good. Maybe I'm getting more comfortable with feeling seen. I always feel very uncomfortable feeling seen. I think that's where a lot of my anxiety comes from, self-sabotage. When I was walking around Exeter Uni, Jesus Christ, excuse my blasphemy, but Jesus Christ. Walking around Exeter Uni campus is the most beautiful place I think I've ever been. Like literally top 10 beautiful. The grounds, I was like, how am I here? Like, what on God's green earth? How did I blag this? It's amazing. Bloody, what they call the top unis, what they call, they're in a group called Red Row. Is it Red Row? No, whatever it's called. And I'm here. This does not fit the narrative of Adam Dow. That's a good example. It didn't fit. Felt like it didn't fit, but it did fit because I did the work to get there. I was the one that did the masters. I was the one that applied for another masters. I was the one that did the work. I was the one that lost the weight. I was the one that, through God, I was the one that did all of the work to get to that point. But yet I still feel like I've got imposter syndrome. But I did the work to get here. So how does that work? It doesn't. Adam Dow, I don't know. There's a lot of negative connotations attached to Adam Dow. And while it is an ideological label, it also makes me feel uncomfortable. Yeah, it does make me. It's not the name and the ideological label, it's the judgment of others attached to it. But I feel like I've outgrown that skin and I don't feel like that's suitable anymore. Basically. So I'm going to change my name. And it's very, very, very sad, but also very, very sad and exciting. But it's also kind of a thing like anyone can do that. You can change your name. I mean, don't make a trend now of people doing that because you'll end up with some right weirdos. You can only do it after you've done 5 years of therapy with a PhD therapist. That's the only time it's at, and that's, yeah, don't get me started. Why is therapy not widely given? I need to move the car. There's people that I'm in the way. Yeah. Therapy's so liberating. It should be in primary schools, it should be in secondary schools, it should be at work. The stigma should be absolutely blown away. It is, there is a heightened consciousness now, people are being more open to this stuff, but self-development and that therapy stuff combined is so cool. It's hard, it is hard, it's challenging to start. You're talking about really heavy shit. You're talking about shit that even you don't want to talk about, even you don't want to acknowledge it's there. And fuck me, I ended up uncovering a repressed memory. Jesus Christ. Fuck me, literally. So, yeah, man, it's not sunshine and rainbows, but you get to the beach after. So it's like without therapy, you can be on a beach, but it's like in Blackpool, it's raining, it's grey. If you go to therapy, you can go to wherever the fuck you want to go on holiday. Where's a sunny place? Cuba, I don't know. Cuba, Mexico, Jamaica on the beach. A sunny place. Talking to the camera on my own again. But I feel better for doing it. So that's good. I feel sad. It does feel like a therapy session, getting it all up and out. I think a lot of things with therapy, as long as you've got someone there that's got tools, someone in front of you that's got tools, then they can impart some advice onto you. It's just about acknowledging it yourself and like speaking it out. And then you'll process it the week. So what happens is you'll do the session, you'll talk about heavy stuff, and then the next week before your next session, you're processing all of that. So there'll be emotions and stuff going on. So say you're talking about something that's happened, then the next day you'll feel sort of similar. This is what happened with me. You feel sort of similar to how you felt in the session. And then over the course of the next week, especially if you're doing exercise and running specifically for me, going out and clearing your head, pennies will drop. And your thought processes will change a bit, and you'll process the thing. And then once you processed it, it's like that analogy that I talk about being on the beach and seeing a storm. You're on the beach, you're looking at, it's night time, you've got a violinist behind you playing some beautiful music. So you stood on the beach, you're looking out into the abyss, into the waves, into the ocean. You stood on the beach, you got the water, you stood slightly in the water, you got the water on your feet, it's nice and warm. It's a beautiful setting, and you're looking out, and what you can see is a storm. You can't hear it, but you can see it. It's nighttime, you can see the lightning, you can see that there's a storm going on. You can't hear it. And that's the analogy for therapy that's really important. You're out looking. You're looking at the storm. You know that the storm, once you process the thing, you know that the storm is there. You know, because you went through it, you processed it, you're looking at it. You know it happened, you know it's there, it'll always be there. But then eventually you get to a point where you become the plane and you fly off over. So you're looking at the thing that happened, you know that the thing happened, but you're looking at it and you fly away over it, and it's always going to be there. That beach is always going to be there when you fly home, but you'll be able to approach it in a different way, and you'll be able to let go, because there'll be associated behaviors off the back of things that have happened, traumas and stuff. This is how it works. There'll be associated behaviors attached to trauma, attached to intense emotions that affect your life. You could live a better life if you didn't have the things that are holding you back attached to you anymore. It's like trust issues and things like that. If you've been hurt by someone, that's a really good example, because everyone's been through that. Right, I gotta fucking go. I'm probably in the way here. Sorry, Warrington! Sorry, Warrington! 01925! Catch me outside by intent.